All right, so you're thinking about becoming a dance rehearsal director.
It is really exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
We're going to dive deep today into how to totally nail that interview and get ready to impress those hiring managers.
Yeah.
Think of it like your backstage pass
Mm-hmm.
to like what it really takes to
Honestly,
shine.
it's more than just knowing the steps.
Right.
You've got to blend artistry with organization.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
It's about understanding that job
Yes.
and conveying it to other people.
Absolutely.
So let's set the stage here.
Correct.
The career guide that we've got uses a phrase that really stuck out to me.
Okay.
It said, respecting the integrity of the work.
Yes.
And I feel like that's really central to the role.
Absolutely.
What does that mean to you?
So for me, that's really the bedrock of what a dance rehearsal director does.
Oh.
You are entrusted with a choreographer's vision
Right.
and the dancer's artistry, and you're really there to make sure that the final product reflects the original intent. So you're a guardian of the creative process.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, not imposing your own ideas.
Right.
But really trying to get to the root of what was intended.
Yeah, it's like being a conduit between the choreographer's vision
Yes.
and then how the dancers execute that.
Exactly.
So that nothing gets
Lost in translation.
lost in translation. That's a good way to put it.
Right.
Now, speaking of translation,
Yes.
let's talk about how you, as a potential dance rehearsal director,
Yeah.
convey your skills and your experience in an interview.
Right.
Because you're not just a dancer.
Right.
You're also a leader.
You're a communicator.
You're a problem solver.
Yes.
So how do you even begin to put all that
All right.
into words?
Yeah. So how does that translate into the rehearsal room?
Right.
You know, instead of just saying, oh, I'm organized.
Right.
How does that actually
Give me an example.
translate to the work?
Yeah.
How are you going to show that? It's not just something that you are, but it's something that you can actually bring to the table.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because it's not enough to just say, I can do these things.
Right.
You have to actually show that
Exactly.
you've done them.
Yes. And how you've done them well.
Right.
And how that translates to success in this role.
Okay. Well, that brings us to interview questions.
Yes.
Because this is where
The proof is in the pudding, as they say.
it really comes to life.
Yes.
I've got some interview questions here
Okay.
that feel like real curveballs.
I like it.
Like when I first read them, I was like, whoa.
Okay, let's unpack them.
Okay.
Let's unpack them because every interview question is truly an opportunity
It is.
to showcase how much you understand this role
Right.
and how passionate you are about dance.
Okay. So first, though, can you describe your approach to teaching dance technique?
Okay.
Which seems pretty straightforward,
Yes,
but I have a feeling that there's a lot you can do
absolutely.
to really stand out here.
Yeah, instead of just listing like, oh, these are the methods that I use.
Right.
Think about a time when you helped a dancer
Right.
grasp a concept
Okay.
that was really difficult for them.
So you're talking about like your teaching experience
Yes.
that you've already had.
Right, and how you actually apply it.
Right. And how did you tailor that
Exact.
to the individual dancer?
Right. Did you break down a complex move?
Right.
Did you use imagery? Did you use analogy so that they could grasp it?
And make it make sense to their
Right.
bodies.
So it's about really demonstrating your ability
Yeah.
to adapt to different learning styles
Yes.
and make even the most challenging technique accessible
yes.
to your students.
It's the difference between just giving someone a recipe
Exactly.
and actually teaching them how to cook.
Yes.
Like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's that nuance
100%.
that makes all the difference.
Yes. And don't be afraid to get really granular in your answer. So instead of saying, oh, I emphasize proper alignment,
Right.
describe how you achieve that.
Oh, okay.
Do you use specific exercises?
Yeah.
Do you use visual aids? You know,
Yeah.
really show them that you're not just teaching steps.
Right.
You're cultivating understanding.
You're getting to the why
Exactly.
behind the what.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right. So another question I have here is, how do you motivate dancers during rehearsals?
Okay.
And this feels like it's all about maintaining that energy
Yes.
and focus,
Yeah.
which I imagine
Especially during long rehearsals.
can be really tough.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working on a challenging piece or,
Right.
you know, the dancers are feeling the pressure of like an upcoming performance.
Absolutely.
So what are they really looking for there?
So I think they want to see your leadership style.
Okay.
Are you someone who's going to inspire them? Are you going to uplift them?
Yeah.
Do you have specific techniques that you use to boost morale? Maybe you inject humor into it. Maybe you incorporate team building exercises.
Right.
But again, whatever your approach is, be prepared to share concrete examples of how you have motivated dancers in the past.
So it's about painting a picture of what your rehearsal room is like.
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
What is the atmosphere that you cultivate?
And showing them that you can create a space
Yes.
where dancers feel supported,
100%.
but also challenged
Yes.
and inspired.
Inspired is a good word because a motivated dancer is an engaged dancer.
Yeah.
And an engaged dancer turns out a stronger performance.
Yes, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one I think is like a true test.
Okay.
How do you adapt your teaching style for dancers with different skill levels?
Okay.
Because you're often working with like such a diverse group of people,
Right.
all at different points in their dance journey.
Yes. And I think this question really gets to the heart of, are you adaptable?
Okay.
And how do you create an inclusive environment? You're recognizing that everybody is at a different place in their journey.
Right.
And you need to meet them where they're at
Yes.
and help guide them further.
So how do you showcase that in an interview?
Right. So think about,
Do you talk about a time when you've modified like
yes.
choreography
Yes.
for a dancer who was struggling or
Or describe how you challenge your more advanced dancers
right,
while providing additional support
right.
to your dancers who are still developing their skills.
So it's
You want to make sure that you can differentiate your instruction,
right.
but you're not compromising the integrity of the choreography.
Right. So it's like finding that balance between
She said.
pushing everyone to be their best,
Yeah.
but also recognizing that
Yeah.
not everyone's going to get there at the same pace.
And that's okay.
Right.
And that's your job to recognize that, because
Yeah.
that's a huge part of being a dance rehearsal director is assessing individual dancers' strengths and weaknesses.
It's almost like you're constantly choreographing these like micro journeys
Yes.
within the larger
It's a great way to put it.
piece.
Yes, 100%. Love it.
So can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision as a dance teacher or rehearsal director?
Okay.
Ooh, this one feels intense.
Yeah, this one's juicy.
It does.
It's juicy.
Because it makes me think about all those like judgment calls you have to make in the moment.
When on fly.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't really have.
Right. And you're like, I'm going to go with my gut here.
Yes, exactly.
So I think this is a chance
Okay.
to demonstrate your ability to think critically and act decisively under pressure. Okay, so think about a time when you had to maybe mediate a conflict between dancers, or maybe you had to adjust choreography due to unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
So really break down what the situation was, how did you approach it,
What was the outcome?
and what was the outcome? And it's not just about what you decided.
It's also about how you arrived at that decision.
Yes. Did you seek input from others?
Right.
Did you weigh the potential consequences?
Right. Were there any risks involved?
Yes. And I think, too, don't be afraid to talk about the challenges
Okay.
that you faced.
Yeah.
Did you make any mistakes along the way?
Right. Because that shows that
What did you learn from the experience?
you learned from it.
Yes.
Right. And you're willing to.
100%. Because that shows that you're not afraid to tackle tough situations
Right.
and that you're always striving to learn and grow from your experiences.
And I think that's so important in a leadership role.
Yes.
To be able to.
Absolutely.
And
And that you understand that even difficult decisions, when made with careful consideration
Right.
and a commitment to the well-being of your dancers, can lead to really positive outcomes.
It's all part of a learning process.
It is.
Okay.
Exactly.
So how do you stay up to date with current dance trends and techniques?
Oh, I like that one.
Because the dance world, I imagine, moves
Constantly evolving.
very quickly.
Yeah, constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So I think interviewers want to see that you are engaged with that evolution, that you're passionate about it, that you are continuing to learn.
So it's about showing them that you are not stuck in the past.
Yes.
That you're not like, oh, this is how we did it
Yes.
back in my day.
Exactly.
This is how we're going to continue to do it. It's about being
It's about being fresh.
fresh and current.
Yes.
Okay.
So do you attend workshops? Do you attend conferences?
Yeah.
Do you follow specific choreographers or companies that you admire?
What would a really strong answer to that question sound like?
So I think a strong answer to that question goes beyond the obvious.
Okay.
So instead of saying like, oh, I read Dance Magazine,
Right.
tell them about a specific workshop that you went to
Okay.
that really inspired you.
Okay.
or a choreographer whose work you admire.
Right.
What is it about their work that resonates with you?
And how are you keeping up?
How do you see yourself incorporating those influences
Right.
into your own approach?
So it's not just about what you're learning.
Yes.
It's also about how you're integrating it.
It's about showing that you're not just following trends,
Right.
but that you're actively shaping your own understanding of dance as an art form.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you ensure that the dancers are properly warmed up before rehearsals or performances?
Okay.
This might seem really simple on the surface,
Yeah.
but I would imagine there's a lot more to it
It's
than just like a quick stretch.
essential for injury prevention.
It's about protecting their bodies.
Yes.
And setting them up for success.
100%. It's like getting them physically and mentally ready
Right.
for that rehearsal or performance.
So what are some like key things to highlight when answering this question?
So talk about your structured approach to warm-ups.
Okay.
Do you incorporate dynamic stretching cardio elements?
Okay.
Exercises that target specific muscle groups.
So you're really thinking about
You're thinking about what they need.
what they need
Yeah.
to prepare.
Right. And it's going to be different
Right. And you're tailoring
every time.
You're tailoring that warm-up
Right.
to the style of dance
Yes.
that's being rehearsed.
Because if they're doing something that's very physically demanding,
Exactly.
their warm-up needs to reflect that.
100%.
It's like you're creating a bridge
Yeah.
between just their everyday lives and then like
I love
the
that.
physicality
Feels good visualization.
of the dance they're
Yeah.
about to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I would imagine if you have any certifications that are
Yes.
relevant
Please mention those.
to injury prevention.
Yes, because it shows them that you're serious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're serious about dancer safety and well-being.
Because you've taken the time to educate yourself
Yes, 100%.
on it.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you incorporate feedback from dancers into your teaching or rehearsals?
Oh, that's a good one.
This one feels like it's all about
Collaboration.
and feedback.
Yes, 100%.
Let's be open.
And it's showing that you're able to listen, you're able to adapt,
Right.
and that you can create a feedback-rich environment.
And recognizing that even the most experienced choreographer
Exactly.
or rehearsal director can still learn
You can learn from anybody.
from their dancers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
So what are some ways that you can encourage?
So think about specific strategies that you use to encourage feedback.
Yeah.
Do you have regular check-ins with the dancers? Do
Okay.
you create a safe space where
That's
they
fair.
feel comfortable
To share their honest thoughts.
sharing their thoughts and suggestions,
Even if it's not
even if it's not positive?
positive. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people are afraid to hear that.
Yeah, or they're afraid to ask for it too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Because they think, oh, it's going to reflect poorly on them.
Yeah.
Because they're not an expert, but you can learn from anybody.
You can. And I think that this question's all about showing them
Yes.
that you are not just there to dictate.
Yes.
You're there to collaborate.
Exactly.
What are some common mistakes that you see people make when answering this question?
So I think a common mistake is giving a generic answer.
Okay.
Like, oh, I'm always open to feedback.
Sure.
Instead, you should provide specific examples
Okay.
of how you've incorporated a dancer's feedback in the past.
So did a dancer's suggestion help you refine a section
Exactly.
of the choreography?
Did their feedback lead to a change in your teaching approach?
Right.
You want to demonstrate that you not only welcome feedback,
Yeah.
but you're going to do something with it.
You're going to take action.
You're going to take action on it.
Yeah.
You value their input.
And you're willing to.
And you're willing to make adjustments.
Make adjustments based on it.
And I think that shows that you view dancers as active participants
Yes.
in the process.
Not just puppets
Yes, not just puppets.
who are there to execute your vision,
Exactly.
but they're part of the creative process.
Yes.
Too.
100%.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about the more logistical organizational side
Right, because that's important too.
of being a dance rehearsal director.
Yes.
Because
there's a lot of moving parts.
there are a lot of moving parts. It's
There are.
not just about the art.
Exactly.
It's also about all the
Logistics, the schedule, all of the behind-the-scenes things
behind the scenes
that need to happen.
to keep things running
Keep things running smoothly.
smoothly.
Right.
So how do you even begin to answer a question like this?
So the question is,
How do you balance the demands of teaching or rehearsing with the administrative duties of being a dance rehearsal director?
yeah, so I think you start by acknowledging the challenge.
Okay.
It's a juggling act.
It is a lot.
Right, and it's okay to acknowledge that.
I say this is a lot,
Yes.
But I've got this.
But I've got a system. I've got this.
Okay.
So then you really want to focus on what strategies you use
Okay.
to stay organized and manage your time effectively.
So instead of just saying, I'm a good multitasker,
Right.
it's like, okay, well, how do you actually do that?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Do you create a daily schedule?
Oh?
Do you have a planning system that you use?
Right. Are you using?
Do you have a system for tracking rehearsal notes?
Right.
Communicating with dancers?
All right.
Managing costume fittings?
Do you use a Google Calendar?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
What tools do you use?
The tools.
Share that with the interviewer.
So it's about giving them a peek behind the curtain
Exactly.
of your process.
Without derailing the creative flow.
Yeah.
Because this is still a creative job.
Right.
Right.
But there's also that element of like
Yes.
manager,
There's the management side of it.
organizer,
Yes, 100%.
ringmaster.
Exactly. And, you can even highlight
Yeah.
if you have tech skills.
Oh, yeah. What software do you use?
Exactly. Because that's becoming more and more important.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I think that actually ties in really nicely
Yes.
with what I wanted to talk about next,
Okay.
which is RoleCatcher.
Yes.
Because we talk about RoleCatcher a lot on the show.
Yes, we do.
And for good reason.
It's a great tool.
It is a fantastic tool
Especially
for dancers who are looking to...
Because I was so fascinated when we first learned about RoleCatcher
Yes, it's very...
as a tool that can help
Yes,
dancers specifically.
Yeah.
Because it feels very...
it does.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see
Yeah.
how they've tailored it specifically for the dance community.
And the way I see it, it's like having a personal interview coach
Yes, in your pocket.
in your pocket.
100%.
Because it uses AI
It does.
to analyze your answers. It analyzes your answers,
And give you feedback,
and it provides you with personalized feedback.
which is kind of like what a choreographer would do.
Exactly, like the choreographer would give you notes on your dancing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it can even suggest ways
Yes.
to tailor your answers
Exactly, to the specific company.
to specific job roles,
Or production
which is amazing.
that you're applying for.
Right. So if I'm applying for a role
Yes.
with like a contemporary dance company,
Right.
my answers are going to be very different.
Right. You might want to emphasize your experience with improvisation
Right.
or your knowledge of the current trends.
Right.
Right.
Whereas if I'm applying for like a classical ballet company.
You might want to emphasize your understanding of technique
Right.
and your ability to...
A very specific skill set.
Yes, and your ability to
Yes.
uphold that tradition.
Right. Maintain the integrity of that
Exactly.
choreography.
Yes.
100%.
So it's really about understanding those nuances. Yes, and that's where RoleCatcher, I think, can really make a difference because
Yeah.
it's like having that secret weapon
Yes.
in your back pocket.
To help you put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
And speaking of putting your best foot forward,
Okay.
let's talk about what happens after
Yes.
the interview.
Okay.
Because landing a job as a dance rehearsal director
Okay.
is just step one.
Yes, it's a big accomplishment.
It is a huge accomplishment.
But it's really just the beginning
It's the beginning.
of what will be, I'm sure, a very rewarding but often challenging career path.
It's about having the passion,
Passion, perseverance.
a genuine love for this art form.
And the career guide actually talks about how a lot of times it does start with
Yes.
assisting in rehearsals, teaching classes,
Yeah, getting that practical experience,
participating in companies,
building a strong foundation.
building your foundation.
Exactly.
And then as you progress, seeking out mentorship.
Mentorship is so important.
Yeah.
From other professionals
Yeah.
who've been there.
Yes, 100%. They can offer invaluable guidance.
It's like having a seasoned dancer
Yes.
take you under their wing
Yes.
and show you the ropes.
100%. And also networking.
Networking.
So important.
And we talk about networking a lot
I feel like you have to in any
in industry.
creative field,
Yes, but especially in dance.
especially in dance.
Because it is so much about who you know.
It is about who you know. It's about attending industry events,
Yes.
joining professional organizations,
Putting yourself out there
and just connecting with other dancers and choreographers because you never know.
and supporting other people.
Yes, supporting other people's work
Yeah.
will get you so far in this industry.
It's about being an active member
100%
of that community.
of the community.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yes.
is there like one final thought
Yes.
you would like to leave our listeners with?
So my final thought is, remember,
Okay.
that the role of a dance rehearsal director
Okay.
is as much an art as it is a craft.
Oh, I love that.
Right, so you're not just responsible for teaching steps.
Right.
You're shaping performances.
Yes.
You're inspiring dancers, and you're bringing artistic visions to life.
It's a big job.
It's a big job, but it's incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, and it requires a very specific skill set.
Set.
But I love what you said about it being an art and a craft,
Yes.
because it's finding that
It's that sweet spot
where your passion
where your passion and your artistry
can really come together.
and your love for dance
Yes.
meets your leadership skills,
Yes.
your organizational skills.
100%.
Yes, and your ability to inspire and collaborate.
Yes, and I think also never forget the power of feedback,
Yes.
both in the rehearsal room
And in your own life.
and for your own personal growth.
Oh, that's such a good point.
Yes. So embrace those moments.
Embrace the feedback where you can learn and you can grow and you can refine your craft.
That is such valuable advice.
Yes, thank you.
I feel like I've learned so much today
Me too.
about the world of dance rehearsal directors.
It's been fun. It is a very multifaceted role.
It really is.
And it's not always linear. You
Yeah.
know, you don't just start as a dancer and then you become a dance rehearsal director.
All right, it's not like a straight
It's not linear.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the career guide even mentions that it might start with assisting in rehearsals,
absolutely.
teaching classes, participating in dance companies.
Yeah, get that experience under your belt.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as you progress,
Yes.
seek out mentors.
Mentorship.
So important.
It's so important.
Yes, have people that you can go to for advice, for support.
It's like having that seasoned dancer take you under their wing
Yes, 100%.
and show you the ropes.
Give you those gems
Yeah.
you need to hear.
And speaking of those gems, the career guide also mentioned networking,
Networking is so important.
which we talk about a lot.
We do, because it's so important, and especially in the dance world.
Especially in the dance world, yeah.
Yes.
Because it feels like it is so much about...
It is so much about who you know, but also just building genuine
Yes.
relationships.
Showing up.
Yes. Showing up for other people.
Yeah.
Supporting other people's work will get you so far in this industry.
And being an active member of that community.
100%.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yes.
is there one final thought that you would want to leave with our listeners?
So my final thought is,
Okay,
remember that being a dance rehearsal director is as much an art as it is a craft.
that's beautiful.
Right.
I love that.
So you're not just teaching steps, you know?
Right.
You're shaping performances, you're inspiring dancers.
Your mentor.
You're bringing artistic visions to life.
It's a lot.
It's a big job, but it can be so rewarding.
So rewarding.
Yes.
And I love that you said it's an art and a craft.
Yeah,
Because it's finding that sweet spot between
it really is.
your passion for dance,
Your passion, your organizational skill,
your leadership,
your leadership skills, your ability to inspire
Yeah.
and collaborate.
and the feedback.
Yes, the feedback's so important.
So important.
So embrace those moments where you can learn, you can grow.
It's all part of the process.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I feel like we could talk about this all day.
Me too. It's so fascinating.
But unfortunately, that is all the time that we have
Right.
for this deep dive.
Yes.
I have learned so much
Me too.
about the world of dance rehearsal directors.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
And to all of our aspiring dance rehearsal directors out there,
Yes, good luck.
you've got this. Go out
You're going to be amazing.
and crush those interviews.
Yes.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher
Yes.
can help you along the way.
100%.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye.